Is up, YouTube. I I don't like making videos on here, but you know, I feel like I have to. So I'm gonna quickly talk about Greek. So if you know, Greek just got some major got like a really nice facelift, right? They got Item of Isolation being a really fantastic anti-aggro tool. They got Heavenly Agility being a very strong ramp tool. And then also we got a huge Ares buff. Right. There you are. So 7-6. So if we are going to be realistic, right? There's a couple things we need to consider about these changes. First thing is, are they actually applicable? Well, first, the Gem of Ice deletion change is really fantastic. It gets the job done perfectly. Stunning an enemy gives it utility late game, and dealing 1 damage to all adjacent enemies gives it utility in the early game. So, meaning it's a really fantastic tool for the Greek. Now, because we've seen a lot less aggro Odin, I don't feel compelled to put 2 of these in my deck. I'm currently running 1, and I'm testing out this deck a lot. So obviously I'll probably make updates to this video about it, right? Then Heavenly Agility, I think, is going to be like a needed card in every single Greek deck because I'll probably discuss this later on, right? But if you get Heavenly Agility, you pretty much win the game because the ramp's absolutely insane. And like you can play like Athena on like if you get double Heavenly Agility, you get like Athena on like turn 4, which nearly every single Pantheon cannot kill. I say nearly for a reason. And then we go to the other big changes, right? Medusa. Medusa kind of got hit a lot, and it's not a really good hit because it works, right? Attacks transform all units are not gods into stone. However, it kind of also doesn't because it because gods are a good fair amount of the units, especially when you have like new Ares and like you have like Terras and stuff. You need Medusa to be able to take out those units for her to be viable in your deck, but she doesn't do that anymore. And not gods means she's only anti-fire giant and anti blade master. That's it, right? Or like baboon if you really need it too. So in other words, she's kind of garbage now. I mean, not she's not kind of like she's not very good. She's not worth this slot in your Greek deck because, as I've said before, you know, Greeks need every single deck slot.
I'm touching myself tonight.
Thank you, Master of the Dab, for your support. So, as I was saying, she's just not very good. I just don't think Medusa is very good right now. And until they give her like some really crazy thing that'll actually make her have a niche, her niche is too niche, and it doesn't validate a spot in your deck. Ares, making him a 7-6 that stuns is absolutely fantastic because before you would always wonder, okay, why should I put Ares in my deck? He's a bad Terra, right? His stat line is 4-6, making him 4-8, making him extremely tanky, but not really doing much else. Like 4 damage was sufficient, but it really wasn't up there. Whereas making him a 7-6 makes him an immediate threat on the board. He's very scary. You have to deal with this card. And not to mention, if you're gonna run some really cheeky Deathbringer strats, boom, bang. Like that's like 14 to 21 damage. It's absolutely nutty. So Ares is really good. So in other words, the Greek got buffed a lot. But the other thing I said you need to consider, right, is your matchup. And Greek has some pretty bad matchups still. And that's something I don't think you're either gonna have to build a deck around that matchup, or if you play against his Pantheon, for example, you're probably gonna lose. Against Odin, Greek does fairly well still. I mean, Gem of Vicer really helps, you know. And I think it's perfectly fine. I don't really count Greek if Greek mirrors. It's just kind of weird. Versus Raw, they actually do really fantastic because being able to pump out a ton of units before the execute threshold really comes into play is just amazing. Because Raw can't deal with he can't execute every god you play, right? Especially when you're playing Nikes. Nuwa, Greek does really well as long as you're playing a bunch of Nikes. You can deal with a lot of the backline units via Ares. It's like pretty strong matchup. Bellona, believe it or not, Bellona's good, but I don't think with the ramp and the stun available, I haven't played a whole lot of Greek v Bologna matchups yet, but I will say it does seem like Greek will probably be able to hold its own, relatively so, against Bologna. It, you can't beat mine. There's too much hard elimination. There's too much control in the early game. You got cards like Kabrakin, which are just going to Shrek you. You don't have enough early game damage to deal with that crap. Not enough elimination. Like, unless you're running Deicides, which most people are, I believe, but I don't, which I'll go into in a bit later. But pretty much, I personally don't. I think this is a very, very hard matchup for Greek to win, just because you have so many units constantly coming down, and Mayan has the most hard elimination of any Pantheon, so this makes it very, very hard for Greek to place a unit and succeed. Like, a Nike's good, but she can't survive everybody else dying around her, right? She'll die as well, just via like minion damage. So overall, pretty good. No, I guess good, 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 kind of good, and then bad, really bad. So for the most part, Greek is a pretty strong Pantheon now. So I've been playing his deck quite a bit, and I've been liking it. And I thought I'd just quickly go over it, give you my thoughts, and then I'll play a game, and that'll probably be the end of the video. I really don't like making videos. Okay. Gym of Isolation. I only run one of these because I haven't really found a use for it. I played this card like once or twice, and both of them were ahead or were when I was ahead on curve. You know, so it doesn't really mean that. But like I don't think it's that quality. Um, Heavenly Agility, very very good. You need two of these in your deck. I already explained before. The ramp is just too strong to negate. Judgment still fantastic. Cause remember, 2 damage for 2 mana is really really good, and then 2 mana. It's because of the ramp. It's even easier to get your gods on the board. So this is a very good card. Nemesis. Halving your opponent's health is very strong, but she can also be a pretty situational draw, I feel, because if you have two of them in your deck, you're kind of playing around with the whole idea of you like getting in a place where your opponent has a pretty chunky minion they can steal from. For the most part, that's all you want to run. Touch of Midas, I still think it's a very, very validated draw because 2 mana, discover a god, you get 3 options, right? And pretty much you'll always have like one generally like pretty high mana cost option, I feel. At least that's what I've seen when I used it. So it makes most sense to put this card in your deck because like if you can draw really good cards, really good gods, and for certain situations that you only have in your deck. So that's why I run Touch of Midas. Only one of them though, because 2 of them becomes a situation where you draw into it and you need a god instead. Apollo, I don't know if I explain this one. He's just super strong. Apollo's just absolutely insane. Chaos Spawn, I took out a Gem of ISO and put in the Chaos Spawn because there's some like situations you just need a silence. Like I can't deal in this deck. I cannot deal with what was it? It was like Rune Stone of Ires. I can't like unless I have 2 gods and a judgment, but the judgments are primarily used for like other units control. So I mean, it's kind of rough. Scylla anti-mine aggro, but I do think Scylla is probably one of the weakest epics in the game, primarily because a 1/2 is just so insignificant, right? Afro is really strong. Put 2 of them in your deck because the protect one you can put it on your summoning stone and then you become an anti-aggro source. Put it on a god and then you become a really really strong, fantastic anti like just like anti everything. And then your opponent either has to silence or find a way to kill. Beacon of Hope. With ramp, this card's really insane, and it's still really good on the 4 mana curve because you can get like Ares, you can get Hades, you can get like all these big buff boys. Okay, that came out wrong. You guys get what I mean. uh, okay. Arachne, very strong card. 5/5 means she's great on curve, really fantastic on curve, and she's also a fantastic bait, which I may make a video on the art of playing Greek because you have to play Greek really, really intelligently for it to be successful, I feel. And that's not just me saying crap, it's because I've seen a lot of people who don't understand that Greek you have to guess around a lot, I feel. Hades, I honestly want to put 2 of these in my deck. They're so strong because every Pantheon, every deck does run a good amount of gods, generally speaking. I mean, like anything from like probably like 4 to 6. and that's on a very very low end. There could be even a lot more. There could be like up to like 8, right? But the point is, Hades just being a 2/6 body is so strong. He can kill all the small units that come before the 5 mana curve, and I mean you can buff him. He's a fantastic buff target. He has a great stickiness. Good card. Athena, I mean, to explain this one. Doubled Nike. Nike's probably the strongest Greek card because she's so sticky. Because I want to point out Nike's transition. She went upon release, she was good, but she wasn't great because at that point in the game's history, there was still a whole lot less spells and there was a whole lot more units. Right? It was much more unit focused than it was spell focused. So Nike really never got a chance to shine. However, and really in like the current meta where there's a lot of spells and there's still a lot of units, but there's a lot of spells, and so many pantheons rely on being able to kill your units. Immune to enemy spells is so incredibly strong. And remember, you can bait out silences with these guys as well. So Nike, put 2 of these in your deck. I've actually built decks around Nike alone, just winning games, and it's worked out quite well. So I definitely put 2 of them in. Ares, the stat buff is absolutely insane. He was already a good card. Need him. Then I just run Double Blade Master, standard end set. So we'll play a game here. I'm not gonna edit out this like timer. I'm too lazy for that. So you guys will have to watch instead of timer. So, how's your day? Probably like skip like 20 seconds, something like that. You'll find it. Like I know a good YouTuber would be like, hey, I'll do all this editing. I'll make it like, nah, I'm good. Ah. Chat. I'm not gay. We've already been over this. So in every matchup, right? The only matchup that you're gonna be playing probably relatively aggressive on would probably be against a Mayan because you're not gonna be able to win late game, right? I don't think you're strong enough. Oh, well, this will be interesting. A Zeus v Zeus mirror. This will be fun. So first, terrible hand for a Zeus mirror. Normally, if this was a Mayan mirror, I'd keep this, but you don't need it for mine. This Nemesis can be all right, but most of our 3 drops are probably going to be Apollo, and Apollo you only get 1 health off, and he's just going to kill Nemesis. And then Judgment's pretty good, but I want a hard mulligan for Heavenly Agility. What? Okay. What was that? All right, all right, all right, chat. All right. Divine Intervention. I didn't get a chance to talk over the cards I don't put on this deck. I don't have any Deicides. I don't have any Divine Interventions because I feel like drawing gods is never an issue. I feel like generally, if you have a pretty sufficient god deck, you're always going to have the gods you pretty much need. Deicide is probably what a lot of people are going to want to put in their decks, but I don't feel it's entirely validated. Uh, I know I said earlier, but I think the place we put Nemesis on him. But Deicides are really good in this matchup, but nobody's playing Greek right now, so does it make a whole lot of sense to put Deicides in your deck? Okay. Does it make a whole lot of sense to put Deicides in your deck for a I guess like for a situation that's pretty much never or very very rare to happen. Playing an Uruguay here, I'm more worried about the Apollo to be honest. So, oh actually no, we can just do this. And that is why the ramp is just so good. I'm playing it a turn. He can't even play it this turn, and he's going. It's actually well, he's going second. But what I'm saying is the ramp is just too strong. So He'll probably we'll definitely trade into Athena, so we may see a Scylla come out here, and I am fine with that because we have a lot of utility here. And while again, like while deicides can be good, I don't think they're really worth running. So then he'll trade here. That's fine for us. I don't really care that much about it. Buff, and then he'll trade. Yep. He's not gonna trade. What? I would trade. I mean, okay. You know, I actually respect that play. I think that was a relatively intelligent play. The issue is there's a lot of ways he was trying to bait out resources, and I respect that. But I mean, Honor should be pretty good because he does counter Ares. We'll pick Honor because Ares will be coming up in a couple turns, so I want to be able to have Honor down on the field so he can't really play an Ares or he can't play a Poseidon. He can't play I think it's like a Nafra. There's actually quite a bit of options that Honor does counter. Like, Honor's in a particularly good card, but especially in the Greek matchup, he's very strong because a lot of the Greeks values that's an Ares. Okay, we're a bit late for that. Alright. We could choose from Purification. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to put... I think maybe we just play Nike. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to put Honor down now because like he's already played one of his Ares. If he plays his second Ares, we're already in a bad spot, so I don't think he would do that. I mean, yeah, no, he wouldn't trade if he had the second Ares. And I'll play on her this turn, assuming he doesn't Ares me now. Okay, that's fine. We have a silence, so I'm not too worried. So let's go over here. I don't want him to have access to us, and remember we don't run any deicides, so only. That's some coins, guys. And he can't target Nike unless he wants to play Athena and do Athena right here. But then that'd be pretty foolhardy as well, so I don't think he will do that. But as I was saying, this deck isn't actually very good against Greek. It's I feel like it's extremely strong against like other other pantheons, but I feel like it is also exceptionally weak to Greek. Because also remember we don't run any Phantom Grasp because I think Phantom Grasp is a pretty bad card. We could. What do you want to silence? Hmm. So probably trade. He'll probably trade. Oh, actually, probably gonna play this. Oh well. I mean, it's not gonna do anything at this point. There's the Phantom Grasp, but look, that's wasted his entire turn. And is it really worth a Arachne? I mean, I don't know. To be honest, it's looking fairly profitable for him now. And maybe, but see, that's the thing. Is against the Greek matchup, it's really strong. Against the majority of other matchups, it's a pretty bad situation. Okay. So it's like the Phantom Grasp didn't do anything. All it did was draw out my Blade Masters, and Phantom Grasp against against many other Pantheons is actually worthless. It's not going to help you in the slightest. So that's why I personally don't like to run it. And there's the Athena. That's pretty bad. We may actually lose this game. Pretty bad game to put on YouTube. But I don't really care. Like I want you guys to watch it and like enjoy yourselves, but like making YouTube videos is way harder than Twitch, man. Way harder than Twitch. Twitch, I just you know. This I have to like do all this crap, and they put fair. Yeah, I don't think we can win this game. I'll play one more. So this will be like a pretty long video. Hades, yeah, we can't. Ignis Freos. I would like to have a. I would like to have a like a matchup against something other than Greek. I'll play one more game after this, but like. Yeah, no, we can't win this game. I'm wasting my time. So yeah, so Greek v Greek is a pretty bad matchup for this deck. Now, I'm talking about this deck specifically. Greek into Greek can be very, it can be profitable. Like, there's actually a tournament tomorrow, which we don't actually know what we'll see. It's kind of up in the air. So, I mean, again, it could be anything. But I think for the most part, we're not going to see too much Greek. And if we do, we're not going to see people who really understand it in a certain way. I'm almost dropped my sushi. Perfect. Here we go. Pretty good hand here. We do have gem, but we do not have we don't actually have the ramp, but interesting to see how we fare. I mean, we could get double loss. I mean, I'm still posting this to YouTube. Like, it's just at the end of the day, this game's still a card game, and I can't like posting wins is great, but like I'm not gonna be on my way to not post anything. So this is really good in against token decks for this. It's not exactly good against like mid range, but we're gonna see a rat here, a Scotty. It's even worse. So this doesn't do a damage to Scotty, but it does damage around her. Okay, it's bad. Pretty bad hand. I mean, we got this, which I guess we could show off, but you know, it's not exactly fantastic. Actually, we only run any legendaries in this deck, which is a little fun fact. Because I don't. Enyo is weird because her value. Her value is just weird. That's all I can say. I have a hard time evaluating her. We'll see what we can get from this. Hopefully, we can get something right here and it's big. Ask and you shall receive. That's really good for us. Now he'll spend pretty much all of these guys, hopefully taking out Hades, and we can have the race to kill. And so I want to quickly talk about Bulwark. And remember how I said I was playing or Beacon? People are like, people might be asking Comcast, you don't like RNG. Beacon has a 53% chance to give you value. That's worth. Definitely worth. 53% I will take any day. Yeah, doesn't do damage to her herself. Apollo here. Gift of Movement can come out here, and I'm pretty much fine with that. And so I was talking about a lot of you have to predict with Greek. I'm predicting that he's probably going to Gift of Movement this guy. So I have a second, and then I can have other cards. Or Silence, or deal 2 damage. Either option is fine. I think he's going to deal 2 damage, yep. Then bring him over here, stop him. I think that an evaluating gem, it's good, but I'm not sure if it's what they need. Because I think they need. It'd be better if it's like a small AoE of damage. Just when you put on. Oh my gosh. Yep, that's the new Venator card. Very very strong. Very very strong. As you're saying, this is much more of a mid-range deck, and we're having a very hard time against it because, I mean, I think it might be that may be user error right there. See this. So we get from this. So remember I said like you got pretty high and low rolls. I think Athena's probably the best bet here. Like, can we win this? Maybe. I don't really know, to be honest. Because late game we'll be able to handle this, but right now we can't. Like, in terms, this video is mainly about just like showing the new cards and showing possible ways to use them. Well, I said Greek is like middle of the pack to pretty good. I honestly think it is, but it's not. It's still not at that level where I think it can easily win games. I think this is still going to take a lot more effort than a lot of the other decks that people. Then here you go, that people are going to want to be using. If we heal up, it's like even DSI I don't think would help very much. I think we have to play Blade. Yeah, do we lose? 2, 5, 7. I'm assuming is a way to burst this down. There's a lot of options here. Is there? I don't think there's a way we can do anything here. Yeah. We'll play Ares just for the XP. Here's what I'll do. I'll probably play one more, see if I can win it, and then I'll edit out one of the losses. Yeah. And I guess in case my first loss is the video, which I'll probably do. That was a Greek on Greek loss because this deck can't really handle Greek on Greek. So to sum it up, before we go into the next game, which I could win or lose, I don't really care, to be honest. I'm pretty tired. I'm still gonna put this out. I mean, hey, if you guys want me to edit loss, I will. This is currently a 30-minute video. That's fine. That's fine. But I hope I will have a hand that's like that was a really bad hand against Norse because I wasn't able if like I didn't have any like 5 drops really. I don't think I ever got one. Like the Hades was fine. Just Scotty's very strong 3-drop, so it makes it very very difficult for a person who's not running DSI to put that in. And that's one of these things where like I always talk about the best decks, right, are the ones that are carefully analyzed and rewritten. So it's another Odin matchup. Hopefully we won't actually get boned this time around. Oh, I just get a hard mulligan for Heavenly. Yeah, there we are. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'll take that. So when in doubt, like even if you have another 2-drop, you're not gonna be playing him. You're gonna be playing you're gonna be playing Heavenly. You really have to, you know. That's bad. But Heavenly is just too important because I can play Afro next turn and then negate all their damage. Like it's just too of an important uh situation. Like you can't afford not to do it, you know. Okay. There's no damage. Play Afro here. I could probably Afro back here. Like look, because of the bonus, Afro on turn 3. That's pretty good. Without a coin usage. So now he has to kill Afro. That's what we call successful. That's what we call successful. and and that's really where it can become a very profitable card, especially when you get in early. And that's really your goal. I think if you're gonna put like a solid guide to this, you really have to put it on top deck or hard mulliganing for the one you need, right? The good old Heavenly Agility. Because he has to use everything into this. He has no other option. He can't like one negated damage is too strong, and he doesn't have any elimination here, so we're actually gonna get profit off. Now I'm probably gonna get some flack saying, "Oh my gosh, what? Ignore what? You guys are just betting everything." Like, come on.
Sound the death knell. I arise.
Like, I'm not ignoring you, chat. I'm just saying it's bet 23rd. Roulette hates me. So this feels like a bunch of you guys are just like betting. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying. And I think we can actually play okay, we have 6 mana. See, like this is just absolutely nutty. Check this out. Playing a 7-drop on turn 5. We regain stamina. It's just so he'll probably kill Afro here, and I'm actually cool with that. It's not that big of a deal because we've gotten so much value out of Afro, and we're also far enough ahead on curve and in cards that we don't really need to worry about it. And granted, yes, Comcast, you're smoking level 25. It's not something to be proud of. Like, I'm just trying to show the cards, because this has happened to level 1s when I was playing up against some people. It's, I mean, obviously not to this extent, but you guys get what I mean. It's a pretty strong, to say the least, setup. But the question is, do you always have to hard mulligan for you have to hard mulligan for Heavenly Agility, and that is I'm not exactly sure the answer to that. I think it's gonna be a yes, even if your hand's like godlike. The only time you wouldn't is if you're up against mine, I think, and you're trying to go for and you want the Scylla because otherwise you'll just lose. Because most people aren't running the what's it called? Okay, ooh. Instead, we're just gonna buff Hades here, drop that. Play carefully here. Play Apollo aggressively. See? Pretty easy. Pretty easy. Pretty easy. even with his Ymir. And this is where Greek shines the strongest. So people will sometimes, believe it or not, ask me, like, Comcast, what, like how do you play against Greek and stuff? And it's really, you can't let him get board control, because then this just happens. Like, you can't top this, you know? Uh, this is kind of a waste, but like, we're so far ahead, it doesn't even matter. Like, it does not matter, because we're not gonna lose this game. Can't. Like, it's just our board state's too strong. Even if Freya wouldn't help him here, like, I don't think there's anything he can do to win this game. So honestly, if I was him, I'd probably just concede, because you have so much damage output coming in, you have so much control output coming out. Because what you can honestly do is use Apollo and pretty much every other unit as a control factor, and then just pump out damage with Nike and Ares. And that's why I love the Greek Pantheon, because their win condition's pretty simple. Just have your damage dealing gods deal damage, and have your non-damage dealing gods like control pretty much. In this case, we know, like, and I've also said before that, at least especially on Twitch, that what's Norse's biggest weakness? The fact that they cannot deal with a multitude of units. So that's exactly what we're going to give them. Because we know that they can't. Sounds actually pretty good. Like, it doesn't even matter what we do. He's not going to be able to kill this. This board's just too strong. Yeah, I'm gonna upload this entire video. I'm too lazy. I'm too lazy to edit anything out. I'm just gonna render it and then pop this sucker on YouTube. Hopefully you guys learned something from this video. If you are going to say, hey, if you're gonna try to take away something, right? What are you gonna learn from this video? That Heavenly Agility is a must-have. Ares is a must-have. You know, I haven't really seen any Ares. And then Obsidian Shard. I think that's the card. Gem of Isolation, I believe is what it's called, is still a questionable one at that. So, I mean, but win or lose, though, it still comes down to Greek being not as strong as their pantheons. While they can have a really good setup, I think it's actually going to require more buffs in the right directions. For example, making Medusa not crap. Making Medusa worth your deck. Because right now, I would say she's not. It also is going to come down to cards like Enyo, maybe even getting changed. Because Enyo is fundamentally good. But when they nerfed her, right, to a 4... Really, when they nerfed her to a 4/5, that hurt her a lot, because now a 4/5 for 5 mana that spawns a flag is good, but she can't really trade that efficiently, right? Because a 4-drop that takes care of the earlier curve is really strong, but a 5-drop that can't take care of pretty much a good portion of the 4-drops, it becomes questionable value. So if you guys enjoyed your stay, be sure to, I think what the YouTubers say, like, comment, and subscribe. I don't really expect any of that. Just hopefully you learned something. You can take something away. Yes, make me disagree again. If you guys want to actually see some real interesting stuff, definitely check out my Twitch. Twitch is much more valuable to me than YouTube, but you're like, I'm not valuing your time. Just, I don't like YouTube. Anyways, thank you for chilling here, guys. I will see y'all either on Twitch or via next video, which may or may not happen. Adios.